11:03, so we will call the meeting to order with quorum. So everyone please stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance to the following moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This meeting is being recorded and consent to me as part of public record. Is there any reason to go into executive session?
Yes, there is.
All right. Ask for a motion to go into executive session to stay because I'm pretty sure you're.
Oh, okay.
Tricia, do you have a second to go into executive?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Aye. All right, we're in executive session. Okay, out of executive due to confidential personnel and legal matters. So the minutes, has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from December 11th?
Make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made, seconded to approve the December 11th minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, likewise, motion carries. On the agenda, we have elections, moving Lisa Ribbit to 40 hours, jail administration, which we're going to table, part-time maintenance position, full-time human resources, and the last thing on your agenda is AFSCME going from one job classification to another. That is a contract negotiation thing that we will not be discussing today. And instead, I would like to at least mention the GIS/planning position at 911/EMA that we had, I sent an email about. Anything else missing from the agenda? All right, first is moving the elections director to 40 hours. Want to give us background?
Yes, so in your packet, there is an email from Lisa Ribbit, the Director of Elections and Voter Registration. She has increased that her work hours be increased from 35 hours a week to 40 for the period of February 17th, 2020 through May 11th, 2020. And she put in a detailed explanation as to why, because her workload will increase during the presidential election. And on the sheet that I have labeled the salary board, I took her hourly rate, and that would be an additional 65 hours of work for.
It's in a different packet. That's it.
Those are nice minutes.
So that comes up to an additional 65 hours, which calculates at $1,643.20. In the packet, I gave everybody a copy of the email so that she could see how her job duties increased. So she's going to need more time to process, send, and receive absentee ballots in addition to all of her other election and non-election duties. And she states during the presidential election, the number of absentee ballots basically triple. As everyone is interested in this type of election, a non-presidential election, she said that she processes between 300 and 400 absentee ballots. And that it increased during the last presidential election to 1,200. She also discusses the new Act 77 law, that anyone can request a mail-in ballot with no excuses provided. So she's not sure how many mail-in ballot requests she'll be receiving, so there'll be additional time and energy to process that as well.
It's been the tradition of our office to approve this request for the presidential and I think midterm years.
And the general, just for presidential.
Just for presidential, right, but it's been practice for 10 years.
Since it was consolidated.
Yeah, so since 2009.
Yes.
Any discussion?
Does she need more help? Yes. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, so this is just to get through the spring. I think we need
Revisit all.
to get through the general and then, or the primary, excuse me, and then really look to some sort of part-time position.
Was Stacy able to help her?
I think so, but I don't know that it's been formalized. I think that's the challenge. And one of my big concerns with Lisa, like in this last year being an example, is those machines are very complicated. The information that goes into them is very complicated. If anything happened to her, there's a reason she couldn't work, I mean, we'd be in real trouble to try to change that. So, and there's a case to be made that most other counties have 2 to 3 people working in their elections office, whereas we have 1. And frankly, Lisa's capabilities of the position have covered up, a pretty substantial liability, I think.
I agree. So, at first I thought, why don't we just also vote and get out the general election out of the way as well, but I think we need to revisit this conversation in a couple of months. So, probably best that it's written away.
So initially, I guess I would make a motion to approve the going to 40 hours for the time. And it does state from the 17th to May 11th. So that's how I would, and that's the 65 hours. Okay, so I would make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, excuse me, opposed likewise. Carries.
With, I guess, and then beyond that, then the understanding that it's going to be reviewed.
We need, yeah. And could you relay that to, or someone should relay that to Lisa before she goes through the effort of putting this packet together again in the fall?
Oh, I'll talk to her about it. I talked about it.
Okay, very good.
I just think the nature of the whole election process with everything going on, it's going to warrant review. And who knows what it's going to be like for her as she enters into this,
Yes.
along with the machines.
We know that she's a very trustworthy person, but national news doesn't necessarily, and if anything happened that caused this to be national, us to be on the national news, there's only one person, there's no one else that's kind of working in that office and can help keep accountable. I mean, that's gonna be news.
You could always,
I used to, but then as I got busier,
Right?
then, she does LNA, she does everything by herself. And with this new Act 77,
It's gonna be more.
yes.
we could always go to a caucus system.
So moving on.
There we go. Okay.
I wanted to
Next item on the
transition to
agenda.
If everyone's all right with it, I would just skip over or table the jail office administration. Unless there's objection, hearing none, part-time maintenance position. Yeah.
Back in November, when the salary board met, it was proposed that there were a part-time maintenance position in the jail, being that the full-time maintenance position person there may be vacating at some point or something like that happen. So a part-time maintenance position will be created. Commissioner Eggleston had asked me to meet with the AFSCME union regarding that, and I did so. And in the letter that's attached with the packet, Colton Swan replied, and said that, and I'll just read, he said, we allow the addition of a part-time maintenance position to be hired in the SEIU unit, which we did hire a part-time position for the courthouse under Matt Radine.
What sense did what sense did AFSCME allow that?
So what they're referring to is that we had a brief conversation about the crossover of work potentially, and in his sense, what they're stating is that they allowed there to be this commingling of work potentially, which has happened very little, if at all. It was just if the person from SEIU had to go into the jail and do work, and then work with Rusty.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
And allowed said person to be cross-trained on certain aspects of jail maintenance without any concessions. Therefore, the executive board unanimously exercised its right to vote no on moving to the final maintenance position out of AFSCME to SEIU. And so basically, what we were looking at is maybe potentially just creating a position in the SEIU unit. Now, when I did meet with Colton, he said that if it were to be in the AFSCME unit, they would have no problem with sharing. But again, I don't know the history behind that and why that's not done more often.
Mhm.
I'm not sure.
Well, my other question is the AFSCME contract specifically limit the grounds that they do in 911 of the jail to AFSCME union? Is there anything that specifically said about?
We should double check that, but my firm understanding is that it doesn't really mention the maintenance position much at all, except to have it in the listing of the salaries.
Right.
There's no requirement that the jail have a maintenance position. They can't require that in the contract.
Right.
That's my understanding,
Yeah.
and recollection.
To me, again, this was from my perspective, this was a matter of giving them the opportunity to weigh in on it. I feel like this is an administrative function of the Commissioner's office, and that there's nothing, in the same way that we could hypothetically lay off certain positions within the county due to budget constraints and they would not be filled, we could lay off the jail position stating that it's no longer needed and then create a position in SEIU, which I would prefer to do anyway because the jail is a county building. Technically, the maintenance of all of the facilities should be handled under one office. The only reason from my perspective that there's a separate position is that previously the jail was run by the sheriff. My assumption and understanding is that the previous sheriffs did not want county people kind of messing on their turf. And so a separate jail, maintenance position was created so that they could do what they wanted to do with it. And
So it sounds like it's a bigger issue. It's more about reorganizing maintenance
yeah.
of the county across the board,
Yes.
and what's the best way to do that, and where's the best way to house it?
Yeah, because right now there's there's a kind of a wall between those two, and it's really unnecessary. And so trying to get them to coordinate.
It's a cross of unions and the amount of money that they make.
Sure, I
The start
understand.
rates are different.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we research and just have maintenance coming out of the union? And then it be a countywide position, and then there's no talk of crossing unions. Because that's the big issue, they're crossing unions.
Well, it's not that, from my perspective, either of the employees really cares about the union situation at all. It's more so that if you have a jail position, the person that works in it is just going to believe that they work for just the jail and for the jail administration. So trying to get them out of the jail to do other stuff is very difficult. And in the same sense, the regular maintenance folks don't go to work in the jail because they know it's not their turf. And my point is to remove turf completely from the equation and say, it's the maintenance of the county, there should be one maintenance department. And this is a backup issue too, because hypothetically we hire this part-time person with the intention of them potentially taking over if there's a retirement or some other situation. They're just going to become that person, and none of that's going to get fixed with it, There's some other point I was going to make that I can't remember, so.
Those are good ones.
Oh, thank
Because you remembered.
Thank you.
So I believe for this discussion, what I'm looking for is a motion to create a part-time SEIU maintenance position specialist to.
Yes.
Well, and so my other point with that is, I guess what I would say is that the discussion on the commissioner's side to be committed to this needs to be clear.
Yeah, you're in that group.
Because we're going to have to basically dictate to, like the jail administration and then to the union that this is the direction we're moving in, and just make it clear, we understand your position, but this is in the best interest of the county. Just to be clear, because there may be potential pushback from it. I'm just throwing that out there.
Probably will be.
I'd be fine with making a motion to add a SEIU part-time position under our current maintenance contract, or current contract with SEIU in the maintenance department.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion?
I would just state that I'm doing that with, just with the understanding that from my position too, the maintenance department in general needs help. So down the line, we should definitely have a conversation about making one of the part-time positions over there full-time in order to address more maintenance issues, because this is another thing that's, coming up on a regular basis.
We did budget a part-time position. I don't believe we did.
I don't think it's a full-time here.
We knew about this in time for the budget season, so part-time is something.
We might have, we probably changed it back, because originally we had a full-time support staff, and he left, and then we had a part-timer, so we probably just budgeted for the part-timer.
But what I'm saying is that back in November, we changed the budget slightly to accommodate for a second part-time SEIU position.
Yeah.
So to answer Danny's question before he asks it, yes, it's budgeted.
Always important to know that.
Yeah. Well, and I think that it's important to get clarity on the jail situation with that position long-term, so that, because that might be clearance for the rest of the year to, adjust that over.
I mean, does somebody need to just take a look at the whole infrastructure itself as far as those positions and what their role and functions are? All three of them?
Yes.
Yep.
It's been something we've talked about now for at least a year, but you're over maintenance?
I think so,
Yeah, you're overseeing maintenance, so yeah.
yeah. I've had conversations with Matt about it briefly, but I'm happy to flush that out.
I feel particularly now that the ticketing software is in place and being utilized fully, correct?
Yes, on both sides.
Yeah, it's, I think it's time.
So, is there anything that, any kind of special training that like, the maintenance of the jail has to have
Yes.
to interact so that we get, so to do the combined, I guess I would say, everybody would have to then have that.
And we'd like that, I think, so that, just right now, if somebody's out, whether it's sick leave or just on vacation,
I've never really understood why it was ever, I can, from what Jeff has already said. Like, I just, the whole scenario when I came here, it's like, what? So it's like, yeah, you can't cross this line right here. And there are situations where you can't do another position's responsibility, but when you're talking maintenance, it should be generic.
Well, that's why you can look at each one of the functions, and how that actually works versus who you're working for.
All right, very good. So the motion before us was to create a part-time SEIU maintenance position under the current maintenance department, specialist 2 level. Yes, that motion was made and seconded. There's no further discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, full-time human Yes.
That wasn't part of the motion.
Well,
Is it necessary?
Just kidding.
Never play nice in the sand.
Look was priceless.
I imagine so.
next, full-time human resources. Eric, I assume you want to pitch that?
Sure. We have a new and updated programs, policies, and projects Kim and I have been working on the last year or so. We believe now is the time to add an additional HR administrator employee to our department. As mentioned during budget hearing time and review with Kim, what you have before you is what we'd like to submit to you folks for a new employee benefits and risk administrator position. This position will report to me and work with Kim and I on a variety of human resources and risk management tasks. Our plan is to have this person spend approximately 50% of the time in the risk management side of the county. They coordinate that with me, and with that percentage, we receive a reduction in insurance premiums, both on the liability and workers' comp side from CCAP. The job description you have before you was sent to P Corp, and they pre-approved the description for a 2.5% reduction in our premiums. That's about approximately the first year will be $7,000 approximately in savings. We also anticipate some additional reimbursements from billing of human services. We're going to submit HR support to them. They will help subsidize this position as well. We also anticipate some mid and long-term wellness and benefits. We anticipate some in the mid and long term, the wellness and employee benefits portion of the position will help reduce overall healthcare costs through education and proper enrollment of available employee benefits. This position will also primarily handle onboarding, orientation, employee benefits, and a host of other employee-facing benefit items. So
The position was budgeted.
yes, and it was budgeted for.
And it was budgeted for 21,000?
It was budgeted for up to 50,000.
Oh,
I put the 21 because
That's
that's the
the
benefits.
benefit side.
got it.
So I would just, for sake of flexibility, if you, I guess my motion would be to not to exceed 50,000. But that, plus there's, like I said, the credits will be coming off that from our insurance premiums.
Benefits, I see.
So you
Got it.
I didn't put a salary.
Got it.
That would recalculate if she put the
Yeah,
bulk
right.
amount on.
Got it. So it was $50,000 that was budgeted?
Correct.
Okay.
Up to.
Right,
Up
correct.
to.
So make a motion to approve the employee benefits and risk administrator human resources position with a total compensation to not exceed $50,000.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
So, let me just ask, Pam, do you have the capacity to do this job? Since you-
No, not anymore.
Since you did HR before?
I do not.
Okay.
I have helped him when she needs it, but to actually make it part of my daily job, I do not.
Okay.
I think also, you know, I mean, there's so many more risks out there than there used to be as it relates to, you know, L&I stuff, wage and hour, hostile workforce, sexual discrimination. I mean, there's so much more that person needs to manage from a risk side on the county. You almost need somebody that's got some specific training, knowledge, and skill sets. Not that you don't, I'm not saying that, but you want also somebody that's can support you as well.
Really don't.
Well, and I think that we've seen since we've consolidated the positions, like with human services, you know, into one position, and then our expectations of that position have risen pretty high, that it's just not, it's too much, you know, it's just too much. And so I think that this would be, you know, a very good.
So, Trish,
It's a good question to ask, though.
for clarification, what's L&I?
Labor and industry.
Okay. Sorry. I was trying to pick the words.
Sorry.
With all the acronyms anymore, I want to make sure.
That's how complicated it starts to get, you know?
Any other questions? Comments?
To the budget?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, then, would you repeat the motion?
To hire an employee benefits and risk manager with a total compensation package not to exceed 50,000.
Very good.
I need a second.
Well, I made it and
Is the total compensation include insurance or just pay?
everything.
No, just the wages up to 50,000.
Up to 50.
So the wage is 50.
Right.
Plus the 21 would be
Right.
total, I guess,
I mean, because I always focus on the salary because every year the benefits package is always different. So I'm always focused on
so we're talking salary of
not to
not to
exceed.
exceed 50.
Yes,
Correct.
yeah.
I just want to make sure, because
Yep.
it was
Just write it down.
worded, it was total compensation could be misunderstood to be benefits as
Right,
well.
well, it's good.
Okay, so the employee benefits and risk manager with a salary not to exceed 50,000.
Right.
I need a second.
Trish
Did I second it?
Trish seconded the original. If you accept that as a friendly amendment, then.
It's a friendly amendment.
Okay. No need
A
to.
friendly second.
Right, second.
It's never heard of a friendly amendment.
Thank you.
All right, anything motion, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Last thing, Kim and I worked on the GIS planner job description. However, we didn't get it typed up to bring to this body for today. What I would like to do, though, is email it out and just get a nod to go ahead and post it. That would not be officially creating the position. We would have to do that in a salary board, hopefully at the next meeting. But at least if we release the job description, we might start getting some applicants and see, what kind of qualifications we might be able to get. So again, this position would work in the Department of Public Safety. It would be primarily responsible for EMPG-related planning, so hazmat, EMA stuff, and then the other half would be 911 addressing, GIS mapping things. Excuse me. And it would be at no cost to Warren County, because half of it would be repaid to us by converting the administrative assistant position that is unfilled. It was EMPG half funded, and the other half would be paid by Forest County 911, which they contract with us to do most of their 911 services. So it's in their budget. They've agreed, given me the verbal agreement. Attorney Schmidt is drafting up a memorandum of understanding / amendment to the current GIS, the current 911 agreement that we have in place with Forest County. Whichever way he ends up going with it. That would obviously be voted on in the commissioners meeting. But again, if it's all right with this body, I'd like to go ahead and release the job description and then at the next meeting officially vote to create the position, which I repeat is at no cost to our county. Does that sound all right?
So we did budget a part-time position that we didn't fill in the
No.
911.
Well, we apply for a grant.
Okay.
So the EMPG funding, every year we have to apply to the federal government via FEMA for EMPG funding. I don't know what EMPG stands for, but basically it's emergency management.
Okay.
They have historically funded half of the salary of our director, half of the salary of the deputy director, and half of the salary of an administrative assistant. Last year, the administrative assistant retired, leaving that position open. We gave the job responsibilities to the deputy director and thought we weren't just going to fill it. We assumed that it was going to go away. However, we then talked to FEMA, and they were interested in having a planning position, and they liked the regional idea of Forest and Warren sharing that position. So they said, if you apply for the grant again this year and leave a planning position in there, and send us a letter saying, we want to convert our administrative assistant to planner, then they would approve it. So we've written that letter, I believe it's on Pam's desk to sign.
Yeah, waiting for one more.
And then the grant was already given in, I think, a week or so ago, and tentatively accepted. So they're just waiting on the MOU from Forest County, the letter from us, and then officially the salary board needs to fill the position. So create the position that needs to be filled. And then we would start getting reimbursed for half of that.
From two sources. Got it.
Well, it's half and half, so.
Got it. I followed the money trail.
Excuse me, for my clarification, the GIS portion, is that just for 911, or does that include for assessment?
They are doing GIS, and frankly, current 911 addressing and GIS stuff needs to be done for 911. Brian just does it.
Okay.
Which of course takes away from his assessment duties. Right. Set up and go down there to 911. I think he probably does that a half day or a full day every 2 weeks.
Most of the other counties have 2 to 3 GIS positions in their county. The only one that I'm aware of that essentially has none. And we should probably have a dedicated GIS person, just in general.
There is a GIS position that's starting down in that we approved last year sometime.
In order to get Brian support, yeah.
Right.
I remember that, sorry.
On somewhat of a side note, there's an email through the Treasurers Association about how many IT employees does your county have? And the responses coming back are saying, well, we have like 1, 2, up to 10. But this one includes it includes GIS for assessment or it doesn't.
IT?
Yeah.
Which could potentially be.
That's possible.
I can see.
So, but I have a spreadsheet with all the counties listed, and when some of these surveys come up, I plot some on the answers to see them and how they shake out. And granted, only maybe, let's say 10 to 15 to maybe 20 will respond. So I was just gonna send it once it kind of settled down and I could see that the responses were done, just to show you the variations of IT and whether it's contracted or not.
Are there other counties that contract? Solely contract?
I think there is, and there's some that have like 4, if you want to say that if it gets to a point where their IT department needs capacity, then they will have somebody like that they contract with to help with that bubble, if you want to say. But I'll share that with you.
That would be really great.
I would be very interested to see that.
Anyway, just on a side note, because GIS came into that conversation.
Aside from emergency management and assessment, it's also used in planning very extensively. And it's an asset when you're trying to plan stuff within the county to have that as a resource.
Now, as far as the plan, when you say planner for E911, what's the planning
So
part?
they would be planning things, well, first of all, reviewing and be responsible for things like the hazmat plan,
Okay.
the COOP plan, which we've gone round and round about for years.
Okay.
The COG plan. They would be responsible for hosting and facilitating tabletop exercises, school shooting kind of exercises, SAD drills, that sort of thing.
Okay.
My only issue with it at all is that we make sure that we make a note to include that as part of a list of what budget adjustments get made throughout the course of the year.
Yeah, we would need to report a revenue and an expense, because I don't think we banked even on that grant, still coming through at the level that I had, but now it would.
I mean, hypothetically, depending upon how things shake out, like if the landfill closes and the money's turned over, we have to reopen the budget and incorporate it into our overall system. But I guess my point is that would be a substantial change, even though it is being grant funded.
Yeah, it's revenue neutral, but it's still significant more than, most likely what we need to be.
Yep.
All right, very good. Anything further to bring before the board? Then I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that.
Second.
Tricia, second